The most fundamental element of working in Rally is the work item. Whether your work involves developing new features, fixing bugs, or managing team productivity, the work you do will always be broken down into and represented by work items. The team board is the main location to view and interact with work items in Rally. There are several work items already in various stages of progress, but for this tutorial, we will create a new user story which could represent work towards a new feature in your product. To begin with, select Add New and bring up the Quick Details Creator. There are only a few options available here, and it's mostly useful only to create placeholder items. Right now, we're going to create a full story, so we will select Create with Details. This takes us to the Full Detail panel. There are a lot of options in this detail panel, and right now we are only going to cover the necessities. Enter a name for the work item. Enter the full description of the work to be done. This should be detailed enough that other team members can read it and understand the purpose and requirements, including information such as the acceptance criteria for completion to know what the end result should be. Attach any relevant files by dragging and dropping to the attachments. Assign the work item to a project. In most organizations, projects represent the team that will be completing the work. Assign an owner for this item. This will be the person responsible for ensuring that this item is completed on time. The schedule state is your main progress tracker. As we have just created this work item, it will retain the defined status, meaning that no validation or work has yet been done. As work is completed, the user story will be progressed through the various states until it is released. Flow states can be customized, and so yours might look different, but the core functionality of progressing through stages towards completion is always the same. Let's take a second to explain the differences between schedule states and flow states. Flow state and schedule state are both measures for the progress of work items. Flow state is customizable, allowing each team to add or remove states to best reflect how they work. Schedule states are fixed values that exist as a backbone for the system, meaning that there will always be consistent states that can be used to compare how different teams are working and sync certain states together with each other. Plan estimate is where you estimate the number of story points you think that this work item will take to complete. We will also define a parent. Rally uses a hierarchical structure that begins with themes, filtering down to initiatives, features, and then user stories. This allows you to trace back what functions each user story plays in the wider strategy and keeps progress tracking clear. It's also important to note here that Rally terminology is customizable, so your organization might use different terms for this hierarchy, but the functionality remains the same. Release and iteration are all about when this work is scheduled to take place. In this case, we intend to complete this work item for the next release, and the work will start in the next iteration, which usually corresponds to a sprint. Once all of the required fields have been filled, select Create and the new item will enter your team backlog. Now that we have created our user story, let's go back in and move the schedule state to In Progress to show that we are beginning work. Once our work has been completed, it's time to send the work item for peer review. To do this, we will open a new task. Tasks are secondary to the main work item. They can be used to break a complicated user story into smaller pieces to make it easier to track progress. But in this case, we will open one to track the review. Select the Tasks tab and then select Add New. Select Create with Details. The detail editor for this task contains most of the same fields as the main work item, and we will fill them in accordingly. Assign the task to the reviewer by changing the owner field. This will notify the reviewer that they have a new task to complete. Now the reviewer can progress this task to complete the review. Let's assume that the reviewer found a bug in their testing. To ensure that this bug is fixed before the task moves any further, they will raise a new defect. A defect is a work item used specifically for raising and fixing bugs and other progress blocking issues. The reviewer creates a new defect and assigns it to a relevant owner who will work to fix the bug. The reviewer places the main user story into blocked status. Blocked status means the work item should not be progressed until the block is removed. Here we can see the blocked user story, and the reason for the block is clearly stated. Once the bug has been resolved, the defect will be closed and the block removed. The user story can now be moved to the completed status, and the feature is ready for general release. As an alternative to opening the work item, we can instead drag and drop the card into the completed column. This is especially useful when you need to progress multiple work items without making any significant changes to their content. Now you understand the life cycle of a work item. To learn more about Rally and Agile practices, check out our blog and community. Like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you'll never miss new content as it's added.